Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Holistic Genie with Emmy. I'm Emmy. It's been a minute since I made a video. I had some stuff going on in my life. I was dealing with an illness for several weeks. And then I had an experience that was quite painful that I've taken the last 2.5 weeks to heal from and do research on so that I could create this video. I really wanted to share this experience with you all and how I am healing, and hopefully it will help you. And without further ado, today's topic is going to be how to heal from being ghosted. What is it? Why people do it, how it can affect you, and what you can do to help yourself heal. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, how to heal from being ghosted. What is ghosting? Ghosting is a complete and sudden disappearance of a person or people through an abrupt ending of all communication without warning or explanation. And it's actually quite common. Well, it's been going on for millennia, probably. But the term ghosting is fairly new since probably about 2015, especially with the increased prevalence of online dating and online communication in general. So what is ghosting? It's a form of emotional abuse. It's similar to silent treatment or ignoring someone. And there is a disregard for or an indifference to the mental, emotional well-being of the person being ghosted. And, sometimes the people ghosting don't really even take into consideration, doesn't cross their mind how it might make the person feel or what it does to their mental, emotional health. And why do people do it? Typically because there's immature coping skills. People have avoidance behavior. They have an inability or the lack of desire to communicate effectively. And, let's face it, not many of us know how to communicate effectively and efficiently. We're just not taught. It is so much easier just to cut ties and move on. You don't have to deal with the other person's emotions. You don't have to have difficult conversations. You don't have to confront them. A fear of confrontation and difficult conversations will make the option of ghosting someone look really, really good. Also, a lack of empathy. So that's some of the reasons why people do it. What happens to the person being ghosted? 3 types of trauma are created. You've got grief from the loss of the relationship and the void that loss creates. You have a lack of closure, which leaves a person with a lot of uncertainty, ambiguity, loss of self-esteem, and a constant state of mulling things over in your head. It can also cause physical pain because social rejection activates the same parts of the brain as physical pain. Ghosting mind traps, like I said, rumination, to turn a matter over and over in your mind and have repetitive reflection. Examples of that are, what did I do or say? Do they not like me anymore? Could I have done something different? And then rereading messages or emails again and again and again, or replaying conversations in your head over and over and over. It can also create worst case scenario. The complete lack of closure, coupled with the distraught emotions and lowered self-esteem and self-confidence, it can set up a worst case scenario fantasy in your mind where you're constantly trying to figure out what happened. Your brain is in a constant state of trying to make sense out of something that makes no sense at all. It can be a very difficult thing to experience. Ghosting mind traps continued. There's a sense of betrayal. You believe that someone loves you and you open your heart to them and you share your life with them, only for them to just completely disappear. And you believe that they're safe and that they have your best interest at heart, but they don't really. You can end up in victim mindset. You may feel powerless or belittled or defeated. How I am healing. First, I just wanted to give a little bit of an explanation of what happened to me. Last November, December, I joined a spiritual support group and I met some ladies and it was just an instant connection. I just felt like they were long lost sisters and we were having a reunion. And we formed a text message group and, we all live in different states. But we were very active in our text group and I very much enjoyed talking with these ladies and sharing information and, speaking openly about spirituality and the growth that we had. And, I loved these women. I shared every day of my life with them for a little over 4 months. So that's my story. And then just all of a sudden, without explanation and without warning, they cut me out of the friend group. I couldn't contact any of their phones. I think they blocked me because when I tried to call, it would go right to voicemail. The ones that I was friends with on social media blocked me on social media. And I was just dumbfounded. I was shocked. I could not think of why they would do that. And I went over our text conversation umpteen times. I went over conversations I've had with them in my head, like different insecurities kept coming up, like, did I do something wrong? Do they not? I don't know. Anyway, I'm stumbling over my words because this is still very fresh. It happened 2.5 weeks ago. And to be honest, the first 4 days after it happened, I didn't really come out of my bedroom. It was quite difficult. It was like somebody died. I couldn't sleep. It's very painful. It's very heartbreaking to think that you have really close friends that care about you and love you. And then to have this happen is just like, what? And it's especially hurtful because it comes at a time in my life where I'm really needing some spiritual fellowship. The last couple of years, I have been wrestling with changes in my beliefs, and it's really difficult. I've been healing from religious trauma, and, to have a group of ladies that I could text all day long and share everything with, and they seemed so accepting and understanding, and then to all of a sudden have that be gone, it's just like, what? Wait, what? So yeah, anyway, how I am healing. First and foremost, self-care is vitally important. Be so gentle with yourself. Okay. Refrain from contact. I know it is really difficult not to contact someone when you just want to know why. Like, why? What did I do? Anyway, refrain from contacting them. Don't chase ghosts. Instead, put your time and energy into people who do love you and who honor your well-being. And take ownership. Well, this one might be a little triggering, but lately I've really been working on spiritual growth and I have been taking ownership of everything. I believe that we attract everything into our lives, and taking responsibility for what happens in my life is a way for me to grow and learn and right some wrongs. So, Christianity teaches us it's the law of reaping and sowing. You know, Eastern religion calls it karma, the law of karma. Outside of religion, they call it the law of attraction. There's a very common saying, what goes around comes around. So if I attracted this to myself, what may I have done to someone else in the past that I need to make amends for? And so that's what I started thinking about. It's like, okay, as part of healing myself, I am going to think about who I may have done something similar. I've not done anything like this to someone, but I have done similar things to a lesser degree. So what I did was I made a list of people. Thankfully, it wasn't very long. And I reached out and made amends. So, if you have ghosted or ignored someone in your past, and if you're willing, sometimes people just aren't ready for this. This is a very difficult thing to do. But if you're willing, reach out and offer them the closure that you need right now. And then even if they don't forgive you, forgive yourself. It's so important. Everybody makes mistakes. There was a time in my life when my mindset was quite selfish, and I ended a relationship with someone rather abruptly, and it was very immature. I wasn't thinking of his feelings. I was only thinking of myself. And I just had a complete disregard for what I was doing. And, it's okay. It's not okay, but it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. So no judgment. Don't try not to judge the person who ghosted you or people who ghosted you. It does nothing for you and it does nothing for them. Next, research the 7 stages of grief if you're not familiar with them. Fortunately, I could name these off the top of my head. I've lost quite a few family members, and so I've been through a lot of grief counseling. And so if you're not familiar with the 7 stages of grief, look them up and read the descriptions and kind of gauge where you're at. And be aware and mindful that working through grief is not linear. You can bounce around from stage to stage and, spend a ton of time in depression and sadness, and then go back to denial or back to shock or, be angry for a really long time and then feel guilt and pain. It's definitely not linear, and it doesn't go from one to the other. So just keep that in mind. Redirect your thoughts. When you find yourself in one of the mind traps that I talked about earlier, redirect your energy lovingly and heal yourself. Just notice it. Don't attach to it. Don't judge it. Just notice that's what you're doing and redirect your thoughts to healing yourself. Some actionable steps you could take are to write a letter. You could tell them anything and everything that you were not able to because they didn't offer you closure. But don't send the letter. Just, you can keep it for safekeeping, or you can rip it up or burn it, or, whatever. It's just the act of writing it down and getting it out of your head and onto paper. Another exercise I did was visualize healthy closure. So I did this meditation exercise and it was so beautiful. It really helped a lot. I would say of all the things I did, this was the most healing. So what I did was I visualized 2 giant fields with very beautiful flowing, swaying grass in them. And there was a wide dirt road that went between the 2 fields. And I visualized each one of my friends and myself walking toward each other and meeting. I was in one field, they were in and another. And we were walking towards the road, towards each other, looking at each other. And each of us had, a very big, happy smile. We were both, in a very blissful state of mind. And we met in the road and we hugged and I said goodbye. And we turned around and walked back into our respective fields. And, it was very, very beautiful. And it was very healing in my heart space of all the things that I did. Energetic cords. So if you're not familiar with energy work, I would highly recommend researching that because it's absolutely fascinating. When we form a relationship with someone, there is an energetic tie or a cord that's created. And it's important to heal and remove these energetic ties to these people who are no longer in your life so that there's not this pull of energy. It can be very draining. So if you don't know how to heal or remove energetic cords, just, look it up. There's a million and one different ways you can do that. You can just visualize it, coming off you, or you can, take your fingers like a pair of scissors and cut it, or, basically you can do whatever. Just intend and believe that that's what you're doing, and then it will happen. Forgiveness. Forgiveness offers so much freedom. And, I really tried to have compassion and understanding. Whatever their reasoning, they felt justified in doing what they did and how they did it. So I'm just trying to have compassion and understanding and offer forgiveness. And then let go, release them with love and kindness that you would have liked to have. And just know that this whole experience is for my highest, greatest good and theirs. Whatever happens in life happens for a reason. And everything that causes us pain, we can learn and grow from. Anyway, did not want to cry on social media. I tried so hard. Oh, well, whatever. I'm real and I like it when other people are real. So I'm sure that people will appreciate this. So thank you for watching. Much love. Come back for my next video. And now I don't know how to stop screen share because I'm like all emotional. And there we go. I'm so not a professional, you guys. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. Bye.